Do not somebody hello good people. It's your GBE from MSD and we're back. And we're not just back but we're back with the bang with another new tutorial subject today since we started the YouTube channel. So in today's video we'll be doing physical sciences brought to you by tutor Hello. So let's just not waste any time. Get yourself prepared because it's time for you to get educated. Let's get to the video.
We are doing momentum for grade 12 physical science. So what is momentum? Every time you think of momentum, think of something in motion, something moving. So you running a car moving has a momentum. You have a momentum only if you are in motion. Meaning moving object, you can calculate the momentum of moving object. So something in running at the rest has zero momentum. Why? Because the velocity is zero. So by formula, momentum is small letter a equals to mass times velocity. So what happens if I put 0 where I see the velocity? I'm going to have m times the velocity of 0 resulting in a momentum of 0 kilograms meters per second. Because of this, it tells you that a momentum of an object that is at the rest is 0 because the velocity is 0, so no movement. So every time something is in motion, you can know the momentum. So momentum is always represented by small letter p and the product of the mass and the velocity, where mass is measured in kilograms and velocity is measured in meters per second. So sometimes in questions they can give you your mass in grams and sometimes they like to give you the velocity in kilometers per hour. So we have to convert always from grams to kilograms, from kilometers per hour to meters per second. We don't work with grams and kilometers per hour for momentum. So convert from grams to kilograms and from kilometers to meters per second. So by definition, momentum is the product of the mass and velocity of an object. Sometimes momentum can change. So momentum always changes because of the change in velocity. So when the velocity changes from the initial velocity to a final velocity, you can measure the change in momentum. So by formula, the change in momentum, change in P, it is the difference between the final momentum and the initial momentum. So where do we get this final momentum? We get the final momentum from the product of the mass and the final velocity. And where do we get this initial momentum? We get it from the product of the mass and the initial velocity. So the changing momentum is the difference between the final momentum and the initial momentum. And when solving problems, you can think of L as the highest common factor to your final velocity minus initial velocity in the bracket. It's still the same as this. It's just a direct replace to make my calculations less complicated. So this is the changing momentum. Okay, we spoke about the changing momentum. We said that the changing momentum is because of the changing velocity. So what is that factor that is responsible for the changing velocity? The velocity changes because of there is some net force acting on an object. So when the net force is acting on the object, we have the changing momentum. But this changing momentum occurs with time. So what is this changing momentum? Over time. So the changing momentum over time is F net. So what if I decide to cross multiply? I have that F net times the changing time equals to the changing momentum. So what is this? This is what we call impulse. Impulse is the product of the net force and the time it takes for this net force to act on the object. So this net force is always measured in F net is always measured in newtons and the changing time is measured in seconds. So impulse is measured in newtons second. So impulse is always equal to the changing momentum. And then F net is also what? The rate of changing momentum. So the rate of changing momentum equals to the resultant force, but the product of the net force and the changing time equals to the changing momentum. And this product of the net force and the changing time equals to what we call the impulse measured in newtons per second. Okay, we know from Newton's second law that F net equals to the product of the mass and acceleration. So F net from Newton's second law is the same as F net according to momentum. So the rate of changing momentum equals to F net, but F net is also equal to the mass times acceleration of an object from Newton's second law. So acceleration is the same as the rate of changing velocity. Now if I multiply the rate at which velocity is changing times the mass, I have m into final velocity minus initial velocity for the changing velocity, everything over changing time. So this net force is the same as the net force according to momentum. So net force according to momentum is the rate of changing momentum, and according to Newton's second law, that is from the acceleration equals to the rate of changing velocity. So these two things are the same. Now we learned everything we need to know about momentum. Now is the time that we exercise our concept on momentum by doing these programs. So I'm going to teach you and show you how to calculate momentum, how to calculate the changing momentum by answering these three questions. Question 1, question 2, and question 3. So for question 1, we have a 12 kilogram object that is moving up from an initial velocity of 10 meters per second north to a final velocity of 50 meters per second north. We want to calculate the changing momentum. So the formula for calculating changing momentum is change in P equals to the difference between the final momentum and the initial momentum. So final momentum is the same as the mass times the final velocity minus the mass times the initial velocity. Now from here you can take out m as the highest common factor to have final velocity minus initial velocity in the bracket. Now I have my data. From the data you can see that the mass is 12 kilograms, the final velocity is 50 meters per second, initial velocity is 10 meters per second. We want to know the changing momentum. So for mass I have 12, final velocity I have 15 minus initial velocity of 10. So 12 multiplied by 15 minus 10 is 5. 12 times 5 equals to 60 kg meters per second north. Now because momentum is a vector quantity, it is very, very important to state the direction. After writing the magnitude, we also state the direction. So the changing momentum is 60 kilometers per second north. This is question 1. Now we do question 2. Now let's look at question 2. A 20 kilogram object slows down from an initial velocity of 40 meters per second west to a final velocity of 5 meters per second west. Calculate the changing momentum. So we still use the same formula. Change in momentum, it is the difference between the final momentum and the initial momentum. So from the final momentum, we can write this as the mass times the final velocity minus the mass times the initial velocity. You can still take out m as the highest common factor we have, final velocity minus initial velocity in the bracket. And then you substitute 20, you take it from the bracket, substitute 20 kilograms for the mass and the final velocity of 5 and minus the initial velocity of 40. So this is the same as 20 into 5 minus 40 is the same as negative 35. So 20 times negative 35 is the same as negative 700 kg meters per second. So this negative side means that the momentum is in the opposite, the changing momentum is in the opposite direction. So it's 700 kilograms meters per second east. Now let's do question 3. A car with a mass of 1,200 kg kilograms traveling at 72 kilometers per hour. When the driver sees a dog running, he across the street, he applies the brakes, and 10 seconds later, the car is moving at 18 kilometers per hour. Calculate the initial momentum of the car. So the initial momentum of the car, P initial is the same as M times initial velocity. So for mass, you substitute 1/200 times the initial velocity. Now, because your velocity, they gave you in kilometers per hour, you have to convert from kilometers per hour to meters per second. Now, you say 72 times 1000, you divide by 600, and then you get your velocity in meters per second of 20 meters per second. So you convert from kilometers per hour to meters per second. Now you substitute 20 for initial velocity.
Now you press your calculator 1200 multiplied by 20. It gives you
24,000 kg meters per second. Now question 3.2, calculate the final momentum of the car. So final momentum, I'm going to write it as PF for final momentum. It's the same as M times final velocity. Now I still have a mass of 1,200 grams times the velocity. So the velocity is in kilometers per hour. We convert from kilometers per hour to meters per second. So this is the same as 18 times 1,000. And you divide by 3,600, and then you get the velocity of 5 meters per second. So this is the final velocity from kilometers per hour to meters per second. Now I substitute 5 for the velocity. So 1,200 times times 5, I get 6,000 kilograms meters per second. Question 3.3, calculate the changing momentum of the car. So the changing momentum, it is the difference between the final momentum and the initial momentum. So I have m times the final velocity minus m times the initial velocity. I give out m as the highest common factor to get final velocity minus initial velocity. Now I have 1,200 times the final velocity of 5 minus the initial velocity of 3. So this is the same as 1,200 times 5 minus 20 is negative. So I have 1,200 times negative 15 the same as negative 18,000 kilograms meters per second. Question 3.4. Calculate the net force applied by the brakes of the car. Now we know that F net force equals to the rate of change in momentum. So we already have the changing momentum of 18,000, and we divide by the time. They gave us the changing time of 10 seconds. Now for time, I substitute in 10 seconds. So negative 18,000 divided by 10 is same as 1,800 newtons. So force is measured in newtons. So I have negative 1,800 newtons. That is the net force.
Team MSD, that was it for physical science today. A very exciting subject to learn. I hope to gain a lot. And since we are science students dealing with numbers, subtracting and adding, I think generally in life is also important to know how to subtract the negatives, add the positives, also check the pace of how you're studying in order for us to reach our goals and also to become what? A genius for school. So guys, for that being said, if you're new to the channel, also like the video, please do not forget to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, Turn on notification for youth updates, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook. We share some links where you just like, comment, share, and keep on learning. From your GBE, from MSD to you guys, so we'll be again with another tutorial video from the channel. Peace.